We've been talking, sharing a little bit from Psalm 27. We told you that we believe that this psalm was one of the psalms that David wrote while he was in the midst of the Absalom revolution. So you can imagine all the intrigue, the distress. It's your son. He's winning the hearts of Israel behind your back. I mean, you know these things. You sense his countenance. You understand all of these elements that are woven into the circumstance. And in the midst of that, David had confidently shared his heart of faith in God. We talked about the three things that he desired. He was seeking, wanted to dwell in the house of the Lord, wanted to be around God, wanted to perceive his beauty, and he wanted to examine the offerings, literally to meditate in his temple, to understand the depths of what those offerings meant that God had instituted. Later on in this psalm, when it speaks of, he says in verse 11, "Teach me your way, O Lord, lead me in the level path, the fair, equitable, plain." Oftentimes, in times of stress, we tend to overreact. The way that we treat people is not fair, it's not right, it's not level, it's not equitable. And he says, do this because of my foes, because there's tension. Don't deliver me over to the desires of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and they breathe out violence. But then it just it just stops. Very interesting. You have to add some things. In the NASB, it adds, I would have despaired unless I had believed that I would see. But actually, just a kind of a harsh literal translation is, had I not believed to look on the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. It just kind of shifts from the turmoil that he's going through, almost like just this thought just came out of nowhere, like the Holy Spirit just said, oh, wait a minute. You've believed. You're going to see the goodness of God in the land of the living. Let me ask you where you're at today. It goes on to say, wait for the Lord. Be strong. Let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Interesting. The word wait is a word that kind of speaks of motion. You direct your attention. It's kind of like shooting an arrow. You direct your attention to a certain place. We're looking at him. So I don't know where you're at today. You don't know where I'm at today. You don't know what circumstances are going on in my life, and neither do I in yours. But one thing I do know is we can expect to see the goodness of God in the land of the living. Just in the midst of all the negative thoughts that come up, if you're watching the news, if you're listening to what other people have to say about the times that we're in, whatever, just let the Holy Spirit just shoot this into your mind. I believe I'm going to see the goodness of God in the land of the living. I believe God's going to turn things around. I believe God's got a plan for this nation. I believe God is going to work in my family's life. I believe that those most severe cases where it seems like it's hopeless, I'm going to see the goodness of God in the land of the living. I'm going to wait. I'm going to direct my attention where it belongs, to the Lord. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to take courage. I'm going to look and wait on the Lord. Let's do that today. Till next time, God bless you.